and dedication. As we sit here today on this Tuesday evening, and many of you are committed towards finding a path or a way of, I guess, expanding, growing, finding a different way of understanding the life around us. And as we face these challenging times and these high energy vibrations that we're going through, we're faced with reshaping ourselves for today and into the future. And one of the things that requires us to be able to make that shift or change is a sense of commitment or dedication. When I look back at my life as a phys ed teacher, and I used to talk to my students, I remember a specific story that used to really play over and over as a repetitive scenario for me, and it was very relevant because as a phys ed teacher, it wasn't so much about the ability that a person had. It was more the dedication and the drive to practice and to work on a skill and to be able to, to evolve and grow. And like they always said, like when a person's didn't have enough talent, practicing would override a person's talent itself. And so when you look at commitment in our lives, we sometimes are faced with looking back in some of the roadblocks that we were faced with, such as traumatic experiences, a lack of trust, fear, or even rejection, or the desire for just complete independence where there was no strings attached to something. And getting back to what I was saying, was as a phys ed teacher, when I was in high school, I remember having to take a class which had nothing to do with my teaching career, but the act of actually taking a conditioning class, and it was very cold outside, and we had to go out and we had to run like 2 miles around the track. And in the process of doing that, I remember being like turned off to the fact that I had to run in the cold. And the first lap around, I really couldn't breathe, although I was athletic. And my lack of commitment was showing to myself. But as I kept going around the track and I kept running, eventually I wound up completing the 2 miles, and I actually had to drive to become a long distance runner for a period of time. And that gave me that push to overcome, to go get over the hurdle. And once I did that, then I committed to myself. I showed myself that I can do something, and it gave me the wherewithal to do other things in life. And so I always fell back on that particular example because it really was a strength boost for me to learn how to dedicate myself to me. The important thing in our lives is to be able to be dedicated to ourselves. Once we're able to dedicate ourselves to who we are, then it's much easier for us to then dedicate ourselves to other things extraneous to us, whether it's exercise, whether it's taking care of other people in our lives, committing ourselves to relationships, but more specifically, taking care of our own personal needs. And once we do that, once we're able to commit ourselves to ourselves, then we're able to expand that in the external world. So commitment, really what it is it requires us to stay focused, to be determined, to have a determination to overcome obstacles, and to persevere. And if we're able to do that, then we're able to overcome specific challenges. We reach a place where we're dedicated, right? And we increase the likelihood of achieving success and overcoming things. So it's important for us to try to commit ourselves so that we can stick to a plan and we can evolve and move forward. It's always easy for us to fall back on the game plan or on the way we've been raised in terms of traumatic experiences, like I said before, and those things that we're used to the story that fits the path of least resistance. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to do a shamanic journey towards dedication and commitment, and to see what areas of your life are in need of that. And as we go on the journey and we sit down and we come across the spirit animal, we'll be faced with asking the spirit animal the question of, how do I become more dedicated? In whatever area it's relevant to you. So what we'll do is we will just find a place where you can get comfortable, where you can either sit down or lie down and cover your eyes. And when you're ready to do that, get into that position and take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in And exhale. Close your eyes and let's go on our shamanic journey number 61. We enter a beautiful forest. And we walk on a beautiful path. The trees are young and short, and the sun shines directly in our face. Walk on this path. We follow the twists and turns. We take a deep breath in and we smell the fresh air. And as we walk, we hear the birds whistling in the trees. And as we walk, there's a fork in the road. And we bear to the left. On the path, and up ahead is a footbridge. And as we walk on that footbridge, we stop and listen to the water that flows beneath. We look to the left and we see a waterfall as the water flows downstream towards us. Breath in, and we continue on the path over the bridge. As we walk, we reach a valley, an open grassy plain, surrounded on the left and right with two mountains. We follow the path, which leads to the right. Inside a cave. We walk into the darkness, guiding ourselves by holding onto the wall. Up ahead is a glimmer of light. Follow that light out of the cave. breath in. And thank your spirit animal. And you head back towards the cave. Into the darkness. You look for the glimmer of light. You return to the path in the valley. And you turn left back on the path you took. And as you walk, up ahead is the footbridge. You stop and look to the left as the water flows downstream. You take a deep breath in. And as you come back, you bear right and take back the original path. You stop in front of a big oak tree and you put your hands around it. You exchange the energy of that tree with yourself. And it absorbs your positive ions. You take a deep breath in and you thank the tree. You release your hands and walk out of the forest. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. Move your fingers, move your toes, shrug your shoulders, and when you're ready, come back into the room. Okay, today was Shamanic Journey number 61 to commitment, dedication. And that commitment, dedication really starts with our own perseverance, right? It's dedication to our own needs, to who we are as a person. And then it becomes more of a reverberation outside of yourself that continues to the outside world, where then we're able to commit ourselves to other people, other situations in life. An important part for ourselves to keep in mind is that many things from the past have a play in terms of our ability to commit ourselves, right? Self-love, the ability to trust, the ability to overcome rejection. And sometimes we seek independence, which gives us a sense of non-committal. But it's important for us to commit ourselves so that we can show ourselves that we can overcome setbacks in our lives, that we can dedicate ourselves to doing things that push us over our comfort level or comfort zone. Okay, so I want to thank you today for joining me, and hopefully you're able to look introspectively at your life to see where your energy could be shifted towards more dedication, towards something that you really seek to commit yourself to. because we're always confronted with that particular issue. And once we do, I think that we feel a sense of pride and joy within ourselves to overcome that. Okay, just want to thank you today for joining me. And next Tuesday we'll meet at the same time. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful week. And again, thank you for joining me and committing yourselves to participating. Have a great evening.